Hello everyone. We are in the chapter, Past Simple, and we've got to the lesson that deals with sentences. In this lesson, we will learn positive sentences, negative sentences, yes/no questions, that is questions whose answers are yes or no, WH questions, which are, what, when, where, etc., and questions about the subject, who, or what. In this lesson, we will use all material that we have learned in the Past Simple chapter. We will learn all of the above in parallel, and the studies will be mostly through using examples. Let's start. Positive sentences. The sentence starts with the subject, followed by a verb, in its past tense form, then comes the rest of the sentence. Danny went to school last week. The subject is Danny. The verb go turns into its past tense form, went. The rest of the sentence is, to school last week. Examples: Dina sent me a letter yesterday. The verb send turns into its past tense form, and becomes, sent. The sentence is, Dina sent me a letter yesterday. They sleep in a hotel 2 days ago. Here also the verb sleep turns into its past tense form, and becomes, slept. The sentence is, they slept in a hotel 2 days ago. You can see that it does not matter what the subject is. The sentence will always start the same, subject, followed by the verb, in its past tense form. Negative sentences. The sentence starts with the subject, followed by did not. Then, a verb in its present tense form, and then comes the rest of the sentence. The term that expresses negation is, did not. The shortcut of did not, is didn't. We always use did not, or didn't, no matter what the subject is. Danny didn't go to school last week. The verb go stays as it is. We do not turn it into its past tense form. The rest of the sentence is, to school last week. More examples: Dina not send me a letter yesterday. After the subject, Dina, we use did not, or didn't, and then the verb send, in its present simple tense form. This is how the sentence should be. Dina did not send me a letter yesterday. Or, Dina didn't send me a letter yesterday. They not sleep in a hotel 2 days ago. Here again, we use did not, or didn't, after the subject they, and then the verb sleep, in its present simple tense form. The sentence is, they did not sleep in a hotel 2 days ago. Or, they didn't sleep in a hotel 2 days ago. I want to explain again. In negative sentences in the past simple tense, we always express the verb, in its present simple tense. We don't say, did not went. We say, did not go, or didn't go. We don't say, did not slept. We say, did not sleep, or didn't sleep. Yes/no questions. The question always starts with did. Then comes the subject. After the subject comes the verb, in its present tense form, and then, the rest of the question. Did Danny go to school last week? According to the structure above, the sentence starts in did, followed by the subject Danny. Then, the verb go, in its present tense form, followed by the rest of the question. More examples: Did Dina send me a letter yesterday? Did they sleep in a hotel 2 days ago? Nothing more to add. WH questions. Let me list some of the WH questions first. What? When? Where? Why? Which? Who? How? How doesn't start with WH, but is also a WH question. The question will always start with a WH question, followed by did. Then, the subject, followed by the rest of the question. Nothing else to explain. Let's just follow some more examples. Where did Danny go last week? The question starts with the WH question where, followed by did, and the subject Danny. Then comes the verb go, in its present tense form, followed by the rest of the question. More examples. What did Dina send me yesterday? Where did they sleep 2 days ago? No need for any further explanations. Questions about the subject. We've mentioned more than once, question about the subject will always start with who, or what, depending on the subject. If the subject is human, the question will begin with who. If the subject is not human, the question will begin with what. Example for who: David, the kids, my teacher, mother, and so on. All of them are human. Example for what: the dog, this chair, my car, your TV, etc. Not human. After the who or the what, there is a verb, in its past tense form. The verb will always be in its past tense form in the question about the subject. Then comes the rest of the question. Examples: who went to school last week? Who sent me a letter yesterday? Who slept in a hotel 2 days ago? We can say that in positive sentences, and in questions about the subject, we express the verb in its past tense form, and in all the others, negative sentences, yes no questions and WH questions, we express the verb in its original form, present simple tense form. That's it. This is all the material. Now let's do some more examples. My dad tell me a story last night. Positive. My dad told me a story last night. The verb tell turns into told. Negative. My dad did not tell me a story last night. Or, my dad didn't tell me a story last night. The verb tell stays as it is. Yes no question. Did my dad tell me a story last night? Here, the verb tell stays as it is as well. WH question. What did my dad tell me last night? Tell stays as it is. Question about the subject. Who told me a story last night? In a question about the subject, the verb always turns into its past tense form. Tell becomes told. Let me say again, in positive sentences and in questions about the subject, we express the verb in its past tense form. In negative sentences, yes no questions, and WH questions, we express the verb in its original form, present simple tense form. At this stage, the material should be clear. If it is not really clear, replay the video and listen to it again. We will do 3 more examples, and then, we'll enter the website to practice. David and Dan talk loudly yesterday. That is how it should be. Positive. David and Dan talked loudly yesterday. Talk turns into talked. Negative. David and Dan did not talk loudly yesterday. Or, David and Dan didn't talk loudly yesterday. Talk stays as it is. Yes no question. Did David and Dan talk loudly yesterday? Talk stays as it is. WH question. How did David and Dan talk yesterday? Talk stays as it is. Question about the subject. Who talked loudly yesterday? Talk turns into talked. Again, as you know, in positive sentences and in questions about the subject, we express the verb in its past tense form. In negative sentences, yes/no questions and WH questions, we express the verb in its original form, which is the present simple tense form. Mother, cook for us great food last Monday. Positive. Mother cooked for us great food last Monday. Negative. Mother did not cook for us great food last Monday. Or, Mother didn't cook for us great food last Monday. Yes/no question. Did Mother cook for us great food last Monday? WH question. When did Mother cook for us great food? Question about the subject. Who cooked for us great food last Monday? The children play football in the park 5 minutes ago. Positive. The children played football in the park 5 minutes ago. Negative. The children did not play football in the park 5 minutes ago. Or, the children didn't play football in the park 5 minutes ago. Yes/no question. Did the children play football in the park 5 minutes ago? WH question. What did the children play in the park 5 minutes ago? Question about the subject. Who played football in the park 5 minutes ago? Again, in positive sentences, and in questions about the subject, the verb turns into its past tense form. In negative sentences, yes/no and WH questions, the verb stays as it is, in its present simple tense form. Now is the time to enter the Grammarland homepage to start practicing. Enter the website via the link in the description area below the video. As usual, we ask you again to give us a share, like, and to subscribe to our videos. We would like your feedback, and any feedback you have will help us improve this course. Now enter our home page via the link in the description area, or enter the next lesson, homework, via the link at the top of the screen. The Grammarland team wishes you lots of fun and success.